Hello, welcome to Damon Patch Podcast.
I totally interrupted your intro.
That's fine. No one cares about quality here.
Marty, it's $40 on Amazon.
No, you
hardcover.
Oh, I interrupted you. Continues to do it.
The normal one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the limited edition is actually 108. It's being discounted from 130.
So it's what, 40?
$40 on Amazon.
Still going.
I'm gonna go buy that then.
Yeah. See what it is on Indigo. Continue, Ryan.
This is episode 189.
Oh my lord!
I'm your host, Ryan Johnson. Matt Lawrence is here.
What do you want?
Adriano Petty is here.
Hi.
And Martin Isaacs,
Hello.
back from the dead after Halloween.
Heroes never die.
Oh?
Oh.
No, you gotta do a Reaper line because you're back.
What does he say?
I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
I have a real dumb line where he says it's in the refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do have that.
It's in the refrigerator.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's one of
That's
the lines I have.
This week we're talking about the future of the Fable series. You guys remember that franchise?
Man, hell yeah! I used to play the crap out of that series.
Star Wars Battlefront 2 has changed the way they're handling the crate system after much controversy. When the beta came out, we saw what they were doing, and people didn't like it. So they made a change, and we'll see if that's good enough. EA has talked about closing Visceral and single-player games in general. We also have LA Noire is not going to fit on the Switch with the built-in memory. You have to buy an external SD card for that. Well, not an external SD card, but an SD card. EA won't be making Nintendo Switch games anytime soon. Super Mario Run hits 200 million downloads. And then we also had Paris Games Week happen this past week. I don't know if you guys, did you watch any of the trailers from that?
Just
You get a little caught up on it? Yeah, so Sony had a pretty good conference, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But what is new with all y'all?
Go ahead, Matt.
Me?
All right, fine. Go ahead, Marty.
What's new?
Yeah.
I cut some hair off, shaved some off my face too, and then I played a bunch of Overwatch still.
Was that in prep for Overwatch?
Yeah,
Now,
I don't know.
You've said that you're going to play Overwatch for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, this Halloween event just finished up, and I got all the skins. I spent all my money, and I booted up the game and just didn't want to play it because I had nothing to work towards. And then BlizzCon happened, and all this stuff got announced, and I'm totally right back into it one day later.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to play the rest
They
of my
knew.
life
They're
because
like,
they're
man,
gonna
we're losing this guy.
They're gonna keep doing it. Yeah, they're gonna keep putting stuff out. It's all gonna be for free.
They literally must have a great planning team because it's so, on the nose. Like, the event just ends. They had BlizzCon.
Yeah.
The holiday event's going to happen soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nuts how they have this all worked out.
And this art book's only $40. I'm gonna have to go pick that up now.
That was only $40. But the one you have is only $40.
No, so the one I have is the limited edition, which right now is 108 from Amazon is discounted.
But you can just buy a normal one though.
Yeah, I got it for 80 when I pre-ordered it. Just the regular art book is 40 online at Amazon or Indigo. I also checked them there as well.
Okay,
so you can.
Cool.
Oh, Indigo online only. If you go in store, you're paying like 70 for some fucking reason.
Couldn't they have an updated art book too, since they were adding all these new maps?
There will probably
skins
be
and
a second edition and a third edition and a fourth edition eventually, which I will probably buy all of the future updates.
Oh. Don't you wish you worked at Blizzard?
I would
on Overwatch?
fucking love
That'd be great.
Blizzard.
That'd be so good.
Oh man, yeah, no, like Marty, like I will be playing Overwatch on and off, mostly on
for the rest of your life,
probably. This is my Blizzard property. Like this is the one that like people like my buddy's huge into StarCraft. Other people with Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
Other people was WoW. For me, it's Overwatch.
The PS5 like 10 will be out, and you'll still have a PS4 hooked up playing Overwatch.
No, they'll roll all that shit. It'll be Overwatch like 8.0 at that point. But other than that, no, just nothing.
Nothing new.
Just going to the gym, eating chickens.
That's weird.
Matt,
finished The Sopranos this week. A bit of a startling ending, as we've
controversial ending.
A controversial
a lot
ending.
A lot of people hated that show because of that ending.
I feel like that's a bit much. Like, I mean, it was such like a long.
Humans are emotional, so.
Especially for people who like watched it for like the 6 years it was on.
So the show's still fresh in your head.
Yeah.
can you personally think of a better way to end that show? Without spoiling things, I guess, if people still care about it.
I do not.
Does anyone here care about it?
I know.
I already know what
I know the
happens,
ending.
yeah.
I know the ending. I've absorbed enough of it through osmosis to.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't. Go for it, Matt.
Okay, so spoiler alert, kind of, I guess. No. And the reason why I say that is because there was at least once, and it's kind of like imprinted in our brain after that, Tony says, like, the only way, Tony Soprano, to be clear, is the only way that a man like him can get out of the life is he's either going to be dead or in jail. That's like his only path. And then there was a couple of scenes with Bobby, one of the other main characters, that said, and he said, do you even like see it? Like, do you think you see it when it happens? Or do you think you hear it when it happens? Being killed otherwise. So like, no, because the I was reading an editorial and one guy said that it would be boring if it was like, oh, it cuts to black and then you see like an after credit shot of like him in jail or like an after credit shot of him like getting out of the hospital or something. So it'd be like boring. It'd be like boring to see that. So this is sort of like a way to end it in which it's like you're unsure. But the cut is so abrupt that even though I knew something was going to happen, I didn't know it was a cut necessarily. Even though I knew something was going to happen, I like checked to make sure like everything was still working in my app. And then I watched the whole credits and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I like went back and like rewatched it and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's the end. So it was a bit of an ordeal, but
You're right though. A show like that needs a big ending. It can't just have a basic, simple ending. Where he's either shot or in prison, like you said. That would have just gone down as just another show. It wouldn't have made this big mark in pop culture. You know what I mean? It was just, remember that great show, The Sopranos? That'd be it. But now it's like that fantastic show, Sopranos. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, is a lot of people don't like it because of it, and I do
But
get it.
it's okay to be infamous too. You don't just have to be a famous show.
I think the people are right to an extent. I think one of the major problems is I found with the ending is like the show like had a bunch of like stories that kept going on and on and on, and then by I'd say middle of the last season they kind of like did every shtick. There's been like people that have betrayed him, people that they like that have like successfully betrayed him, people that have like they got caught betraying them. He's like secretly killed people.
They're just out of creative things to do.
Yeah, and then there was like a war and a peacetime and negotiating time and like family problems. So it's like they've done everything, and now like what else is there? And like one of the things I was talking to Ryan about was not everybody, but like a lot of the editorials I was reading say there's some sort of like film like an analysis on the last scene, the last like in the restaurant or the diner or whatever it is. And like apparently it's like a very lengthy analysis with like clips and pictures and everything else explaining that like Tony did get shot. But I use the evidence that they used the other way because in that show, and you see several murders in the last episode or two, so for example, I'll give a specific example, so major spoiler. Bobby's in a hardware store, he's like buying a train, that's his hobby, he's buying like a toy train. And then these guys really just walk in, they have hoods, and they just like fill them with bullets, and they get out of there. And that's like a typical hit in that show. This hit was like, people keep walking in, like Tony keeps looking up and looking at the door every time like the ding goes off because someone's walking in. And then like there's this like guy with I forget what they like describe his shirt. It has like a logo on it or something. But there's like this guy that like kind of looks a little bit unsavory, and the camera like kind of shows other people in the booths. And like kind of everyone to me is kind of suspicious in that scene. And then like this guy like goes like around Tony and goes behind him into the bathroom, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a Godfather reference." And then like when Meadow, his daughter, like is supposed to come in, you hear the ding, and then you don't see through Tony's eyes or him looking up. You just see black, and that's the cut. And people said that's when the guy came out of the bathroom and blasted him in the back. But to me, why would Tony's hit be any different? People were like, "Oh, Tony was sitting like in the booth, like he was second in." So Meadow would have then been sitting in front of Tony. So this guy had to go around so that Tony didn't see him. But Tony didn't like get up when this guy walked in. This guy could have just like walked in, started walking toward the back, and then just like fucking blasted him. But he never did. So why is there all this buildup just for this one murder?
I don't think they're supposed to.
Why are you looking at me weird?
I booted up hearts. Don't worry. You're talking.
All right.
I don't think
Moving on.
I don't think there's supposed to be an answer. This is like Inception.
They painted themselves into a corner and then just it's left ambiguous on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't think there actually is an answer, and I don't think they actually know what happened to him.
Well, David Chase, the guy who like ran the show, he said that he mentioned that quote I said where like Tony said he's either going to be dead, he's either going to be dead or in jail, and he said like so this is like the end for Tony, whether he dies today or tomorrow, it doesn't really matter. And I kind of like that quote. People were like, oh, that confirms he's dead, but it's like no, it means that he's like done. Like this is like a major arc for the character. This is like an arc that ends. And there's actually a piece in the show in the first season, and it comes up a couple times with Chris in the show, where he wants to make a movie, and he like tries to do script writing and stuff, and he like explains to one of the other characters, Paulie, about a story arc. And I kind of thought that, even though that was I believe it was actually in the first season, I thought that was kind of foreshadowing, where it's like, this is just the end of his arc. Whether he gets shot and survives, whether he goes to jail because his lawyer said someone's moving on him right now, like whether something like that happens, it's still the end of his arc. Like the show is over. Not so much like that there's a definitive ending. If that makes sense.
See, now, I would say if you were to write this scene without, or the series without that cut to black,
Yeah.
it would make more sense to kill him. That seems like a better fitting end to Tony Soprano than just letting him live or go to jail. Having him just get shot makes more sense to me. If I was the writer, that's what I would write in.
Right. Now, this is a small problem, I guess. And this is a major spoiler. So there's like a mafia war between New York and him, and this guy named Phil took over the New York family forcibly and like wanted Tony and most of the Soprano family dead. So most of the Soprano family is dead. Sill's dead, Bobby's dead, like a whole bunch of people have died. Chris has died previous. So like they like kind of clear it up. Like this, like Phil's second literally says like, I'm not going to give like to Tony. He says like, we're going to like lay off you guys. I'm not going to tell you where Phil is because that's like betraying my boss, but you can do what you have to do. And so there's like this investigation goes on and they end up finding him and killing Phil. So then Tony kind of comes out of hiding and is existing normally. And this is like a dinner where he's finally back to normativity, not in like these safe houses. So to me, it's like, who would shoot him? Like he has his share of enemies, but no one would just shoot him. Like the war is over. Like no one, like unless it's just some dude.
Lincoln was shot and the war was over.
What? What do you mean?
Lincoln got shot after the war ended.
Yeah.
Perfect time to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
I mean that kind of makes sense, but with the way that
A lot of emotions.
Because those guys could have said you can't kill Phil.
Mm-hmm.
We just had to talk it out. That's like they could have said that, but they never did. So.
Right. All right. Well, I don't think there is an answer, so we're gonna move on, Matt.
Maybe we could do like a whole episode of this.
I'm sure there's other people who've done many episodes on.
In other Sopranos news.
Really?
No,
Oh,
just kidding.
I've been playing Assassin's Creed. AC Origins, their big return to Assassin's Creed after a year hiatus. I guess 2 years. 2 years hiatus. Now their whole goal was to kind of not reboot Assassin's Creed, but reinvigorate, put more life into it.
Should probably reboot it.
Well, just at that point, just drop the franchise. It's not really a franchise worth continuing on. I like the games, most of them, but
I was this close to watching the movie last night.
oh, it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Couldn't even pull myself to do it.
Do it up.
Not
just,
even at 3
You just
in the
have to
morning.
move. Your finger just has to move down a millimeter, and you're good.
Don't do it, Marty.
No,
2
it's
millimeters.
not worth it.
I would love a like, are you sure prompt option on that.
Yeah.
Like, so you click on something, it's like, are you sure? And because that's where you're like, no, you know what? I actually don't.
It
You
flashes the Rotten Tomato score.
Yeah. You hit no.
But anyway, AC Origins. At first, I wasn't too into it, but I only played it in like a couple of like short sittings. But I finally got to the title screen.
What the fuck?
Assassin's Creed Origins finally popped up after like a couple hours of
What the
playing
hell?
it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that kind of makes sense because I played a very brief stint and I was like, you zoom out and you just keep zooming out and the map is massive. And I was like, oh, there's Giza. I want to just see a pyramid. And like I was running for like a very long time, like on a camel. It's just like going full brawl on a camel, and then like the end of the region was there, and I was like, "What the hell?" That small region on the map is still massive.
Yeah, the game it's huge. You can just there's so many provinces that you can visit. It's incredibly large.
It's
and
ridiculous.
each
Is
like
it
little
interesting,
province.
though?
Each one I've only been to 2 so far, but both of them have been pretty different so far. And there's a lot of stuff to explore. And the game looks fantastic.
I saw
looks
Aaron
really nice.
playing it on PlayStation before he came here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he probably got it for free or some sort of discount or
probably free.
something.
Couple hours to get to the title card, though.
I mean, you could probably do it a little faster than I did it.
Were you doing all the side stuff, or is there side stuff yet?
There's a few like side missions in that first area. That first area is really an introduction scene, and then
did
you
you
go
do
off
the
into the
side
world.
stuff?
Yep,
Oh, you did everything.
you can always go back too. But
Yeah, it's just free roam.
I did clear it out before I left. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it warns you. It's like, oh, do you want to leave? You can go back, but you don't have to leave right now.
I kind of feel like AC is with Origins is trying to be like that, trying to be like a more traditional action open world game. Like it's always been an action open world game, but it kind of was like had its own formula.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seems like it's trying to be more traditional, kind of like how Far Cry is more traditional,
Yeah,
where there's like a huge
And-
world and crap.
it's incorporating more RPG elements. You have like skill trees, and you have you can swap out weapons that you carry and stuff, and different armor, and
How about a visual customization? How much can you?
there's different costumes. But I don't think you can go in and say, oh, I want my hood on, or I want this like on my belt, or there's not much of that.
It was in Assassin's Creed 3. It was so fucking stupid. If your costume only applied for game.
But the cutscenes?
In a cutscene, it defaulted back to the
There's games that still do that. Shadow of War does that.
Really? Oh,
I didn't even know you could change your costume. in
That is
game.
an absolute.
When you change your
Nope
armor,
for
it changes
me.
your costume.
Oh, I have never noticed that.
You need higher level gear. That's why.
No, I noticed the change in gear, but I've never noticed
During the cutscenes?
Yeah,
It's only during certain cutscenes too.
That's even worse.
that's weird.
That's even worse.
Well, no, I think
Because if it's only during couple, it proves to me that they're capable of doing it during,
because I think sometimes they load in higher quality cutscenes. They're still in game,
but they're pre-rendered.
they're high quality. And actually, I downloaded 4K versions. There's an add-on on the store. It's free, and you can download the 4K cutscenes because they didn't ship them on the disc. 24 gigs of 4K cutscenes.
Friggin'
Oh my
24
God.
games.
Yeah, so it's massive.
Did you at least get the credits in that game yet?
No, I don't
No.
know what the credits are.
How long have you been playing this game?
Maybe 20 hours.
Is
beat it.
there an hour counter on the PlayStation? Does it tell you how long you've been playing the game?
Not on the PlayStation, but there might be in the save file or something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've completed the game.
Sounds like it, but that wasn't an ending.
It was.
Well, you want me to Google it?
Don't spoil it for me. Please.
Yeah,
Don't-
Matt's still playing it.
The thing is, though, with that game, with what I'm doing in the game is I've like just unlocked I guess not just, but I unlocked the stronghold system. I took over that first stronghold that they teach you how to do, and then there's another stronghold where you can participate in the Nemesis system, but you can't actually do the stronghold system yet. You know what I'm talking about, Ryan? It's the first region where like you start talking to Shelob and stuff. So you go to like, this is spoiler territory. There's like that first city that like you're trying to like fend off the invasion, and then they take you to another zone.
Yeah.
That other zone, you can participate in the Nemesis system with like the rankings, but you can't attack the stronghold.
Not yet.
Not yet. And then there's another region they take you to where they teach you the stronghold stuff, and then you're actually supposed to go back.
supposed to go back,
but it
yes.
doesn't actually tell you that.
Yeah.
So like I made the mistake of going to a different region. It was way too difficult.
I mean, it does tell you that.
It doesn't tell you that.
In your mission logs, it's there.
But I have missions at every place.
Yeah.
There's exclamation marks everywhere.
Yeah, but play the one that you're leveled for.
All I did was look, and I was like, "Oh, exclamation marks!" And I actually what I did was I zoomed out, but I guess I didn't zoom out enough. And I saw these two, and I checked the two, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go to that one." But it ended up being a little too high for me. And then now this one's like right on par, so I got to go back.
We were talking about the lore about this game too. It's all over the place.
It's a big mess.
It's like I don't think they really cared too much to get it correct with the books.
Because you and I were talking, and you're like, "Oh, this is what it is in Lord of the Rings." I'm like, "But the cutscene clearly did it this way,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Like,
Yeah. Also, I played Call of Duty World War II, or as it's titled, WW2, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
I was told you have to go to the headquarters every day.
Yeah, there's something like that. I'm not doing that though. That's for the online.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right.
It's something like this is why you should go there every day or something like that. You don't have to, I guess.
Maybe you get a loot box.
It's probably true. All right, let's hop into our stories for this week. Who here likes the Fable series?
Yeah.
Big fan of it,
I
Marty?
tried playing the first one.
It's bad.
It's not bad. I played it on PC a long time ago, and it would not save my game. It was like, I think you explained to me there's two different types of save. There's a world save and there's like a character save.
It's like a character save, yeah, or something like that.
So I didn't get that system at all. I didn't like why is it rolling me back on certain things? So then I got frustrated and I just never played it again. I just uninstalled it.
I remember I bought the Xbox and I wanted to the 360 and I wanted to go play all the Microsoft games I missed. And I tried Fable and I was like, no, this is not good.
Which one did you try?
2.
You didn't like 2?
Yeah.
I really like 2.
It was weird. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know how to play. I didn't like it. But I did play all of 3. Me and Aaron played all of 3.
And 3 is freaking atrocious.
It's not a very good game.
It's atrocious.
It doesn't feel like a big developer made it, you know?
Well, the thing that's really stupid about it is the thing with 3, not to get into too many specifics, the thing about 3 is you're supposed to reach the level of, like, the king or queen.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you reach that level, it's like, well, there's no more game to do, so download this DLC.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But anyway, Microsoft's kind of talked about the future of Fable. There was that game that got canceled. You remember that? It was a MOBA.
Yeah.
And it actually it looked nice, but they canceled it.
They look like shit.
Then they came out with a card game. I guess that came out at some point.
Yeah.
And talking to a general manager at Microsoft who handles first-party titles, she said that she would love to see the franchise back, and that it's very near and dear to her heart. And there's no word on whether it is coming back, but they do. It is a franchise that they're still, I guess, interested in.
Well, the only
Would you play another Fable game?
Yeah,
you would.
I would. Like I would say that 3 was kind of a mistake.
But 1 and 2 were good enough for you to keep going with the franchise.
Well, I really like 2. I really like the first one as well, but I don't think it aged very well.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But I really like the second one when I played it.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Keep hoping for that Fable. EA has
Fable Origins.
EA has talked about the closing of Visceral and the future of single-player games. This has been highly controversial for EA right now because a lot of people are angry, thinking that they don't like single-player games anymore and they just want more money. So they kind of talked about this. They talked about closing Visceral Games. They said, anytime you close a studio, it's a very, very tough decision and something we take very seriously. We spend a lot of time working through before we make such a decision, but it does happen from time to time as part of the creative process. I don't get the reasoning for closing a studio, though.
Well, we had already discussed that they had a bunch of problems.
There was the monetary issues, but it's
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this.
But it's like, if you want to rework the game, why couldn't Visceral rework the game? Do you know what I mean?
But if they're already having problems, you don't want to keep dumping money into the place that has problems.
But it was also just creative differences. Like if Visceral wanted to make a specific type, this was the Star Wars game we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to make this like a specific type of Star Wars game, and EA and Lucasfilm weren't having it.
But EA owns Visceral.
Yeah, but just like might be like a creative difference between you could.
So instead of telling Visceral, hey, you're supposed to do what we say, they said you're just gone.
Possibly.
That sounds crazy, isn't it?
Well, the people might not be gone, just the studio, right?
But I don't get it. Why dissolve the studio? I don't get it.
branding,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
leave
could
it all
be.
under EA.
Yeah. And they just moved it over to the EA Studios.
Yeah, so there you
Vancouver,
go.
I think, right?
Dead Space.
Which
I don't-
all didn't perform well.
Yeah. Which is
is-
surprising because I remember it being such a big staple piece for them at E3.
The third one did not do well.
Was that what killed them? But they
Probably.
didn't make much money on the second one. They said
They didn't make this much money in the second one, but the first one really got them going. So
But did it get them going and didn't sell well?
no, I think the first one was considered
enough to make a
success.
sequel.
Yeah.
I guess. You know, they must have saw some future there. But then I think it was just over budget. The second one. Now I haven't played the second one, but does it look like it's a lot of quality went into it?
It went.
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
changed it
it's-
up. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Critically, it's a success.
Yeah, I compare. I think I mentioned this before in the Let's Plays for it. I compare Dead Space to the Alien movies. It's like Aliens is still good. It's not as horror as the first one, and it's a little bit more action. The exact same thing with Dead Space.
More accessible.
Yeah, and then Dead Space 3 is follows the same pattern with what's the third one? Alien Resurrection. Is that the fourth?
I don't know.
Or is it Alien 3? Is that
It's Alien 3?
Alien
yeah.
3, yeah, same thing.
So now on the changing of the Star Wars game, they just kind of reiterated that they were working on listening to player feedback, what gamers wanted. They were watching the industry and watching the market shift and seeing what was happening, and that's why they switched it from a single player game to now this games as a service. What's your take on this, Marty? We haven't had you on to talk about this kind of stuff. Games as a service instead of so adding like loot boxes and or more so like Destiny.
Destiny is
Destiny's an
Does it bog
example.
you down? Do you feel like does it feel like a job to
It
you?
bogs me down when every single game does it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just get disappointment from every game now. Because they're usually a lottery. All of them are usually a lottery. I did like what Rocket League changed their loot box system to. They had a Halloween event this year. And during the Halloween event, you didn't earn the boxes anymore. You earned currency, which you could buy on any of the stuff that you wanted. You just purchased it instead of getting it as a lottery. But all the best games this year seem to be single-player games without loot boxes.
Do you have a example?
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Yeah,
That's a good one,
that's
yeah.
a really good one.
Zelda, Mario. Do they have loot boxes? Mario probably has loot boxes, right?
No.
Oh, well, you do hit question mark boxes, and a random item does come out of it. So technically, Mario is the first game ever to do loot boxes. If you go back far enough,
I don't think it's exactly the same, but yeah, you are right, Marty. But I think the games that make more money though are those like Destiny, something like that. Like the first party titles, like you just mentioned, are great for Sony, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would guess that Destiny makes more money than Horizon Zero Dawn did.
Well, it's hard to be mad at them when clearly they're doing it for a reason. It's because it works.
Mm-hmm.
They're making money. People are spending the money.
Yeah, we were talking about a story last week. In Mass Effect 3, was it? A guy spent $15,000 on their online card system.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The minority of people who are paying for microtransactions and loot boxes
Go
are spending
overboard.
so much that it doesn't matter what the people who don't do it say.
Okay.
Because we have no impact on how much money these companies get. You know?
15 grand?
Yeah. He must have been some rich bastard. He or she.
I think this kind of attributes though to like if you try to sell something, it makes it cheaper. Like if people play like RPGs and they'll farm an item for like 10 hours and they don't care. But the instant that you're trying to farm loot boxes for 10 hours, it's still a lottery in either case. But you like the instant you allow people to purchase it instead of work for it, it cheapens the item.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. What joy did they get out of spending $15,000? They must have unlocked everything then, right?
That's the thing. Some people just literally want that instant gratification.
If you guys were millionaires, would you be more prone to buying stuff like
Yep.
this? You would.
yeah. If I had money, I would every time Hearthstone announced a new expansion, you can pre-order 50 packs to get like an exclusive card back. It's like $70 to get 50 packs. But that would then just be able to let me make any deck recipe that they have to offer, and I would just like give me an instant collection.
But to be fair, though, in terms of the Hearthstone, the satisfaction is kind of facing other players and winning and stuff, right?
If I did have the money, I'd also have the time, right?
Well, who knows?
Yeah, but Hearthstone with me is also having a card.
You're saying
collection.
you'd have the time to play and unlock it naturally
Yeah.
instead of buying it.
But what cheapens it is it's just like anything else. It's like with those people who like build their own like cars. They always say like you feel better when you're driving that car because you built it. Whereas like the other person will like just go and get their car fixed or buy it from somebody.
But I think there's different people, right? Some people don't care. They just want that stuff, and as long as they have it, they feel satisfied.
Yeah, sure. But
You're
those
wrong,
people
yeah.
are probably the same ones that chase it. They're happy for 10 minutes and then they got to go buy something else.
So they got to keep doing the drug to stay high. Is what you're saying?
I guess, yeah.
People adapt and they got to find something new.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is probably going to last for a long time. I'm interested to see what this Star Wars game turns out to be. It's clearly going to still be single player, just not solely single player, right? I can play
Shadow of Mordor.
I can
or
play
Shadow of War.
Sure, right? Or is it going to be like Destiny, where there's going to be certain parts where I'm going to need a team to go take on some?
I can see him doing like a Division-esque
Yeah.
loot-based system.
I would, however, like it if I could, like, if you could create your own Star Wars character.
Yeah,
That'd be
and
awesome.
like and customize your own droid. If I had a droid that followed me around like New York as if it was a Star Wars equivalent, I would fucking love that.
Yeah.
And you just see everyone like having like in the war zone just having like a little BB-8 unit or R2 unit
Play SOTOR.
or I tried.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Years ago.
Let boot it back up. I'll get back in. Woo!
Maybe games shouldn't be $80 if they're going to be charging us for this stuff.
Yeah, it would be nice, eh? They won't do that.
Matt
though.
disagrees.
What? What do I disagree for?
Don't look at me. Look at him. He said it.
What do I disagree with?
Mari said it shouldn't be. It's not fair that they're charging $80 and then charging for all the stuff.
Yeah.
But your mentality is if they can charge you for it, charge them, right?
That's what I would do if I was a developer, because I know that I'd make money from it. If my job is to make money, I'm going to do my job the best I can. But as a consumer, I
Yeah.
don't want to do it. I don't want them to do it.
Like, yeah,
If my,
no, you make sense.
I'm
Yeah,
doing the job.
Yeah, no, I get it.
My thing is though, raise the freaking game price. Make it $99.99 base price. If they're bitching and crying about money, raise the game price.
That's normally how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, I can't make money off this, and I'm poor. So what I did was I put this gimmicky thing in, and then made $15,000 from everybody. You know, it's like no, that's just gouging people for money.
Look at movie prices; they've gone up.
Yeah,
Just raise the freaking price up.
yeah.
Minimum wage is going up. You might as well put the people back to where they were. Crank the price up.
Yeah.
Like,
We're talking about that with Star Wars. They get a higher percentage from the ticket sales now.
They have
year.
such high negotiating power because that movie is guaranteed to print cash that they can strong arm any theater.
Why don't the theaters just illegally fix them? Like fix their position. Literally, just say like, you know what? That's it.
Because then they don't get Star Wars.
But then no one gets Star Wars.
No, because you're gonna
Actually, I don't even know if that'd be illegal.
You're gonna have one theater say, "Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll-
freaking show Star Wars," and then
Oh,
that
shit.
cinema's gonna lose out on money because everyone's going to that theater.
What you're proposing is called a union, and well,
No, I'm
The
talking
problem-
about those like where like all carriers raise their price within a week of each other.
that is price fixing. That's illegal.
They're
No, I
doing
know,
that
but I'm
with
saying-
bread in Canada right now.
Can all competitors
Yeah.
strategize? Like I don't even know if this is illegal. Can they all like?
Say collectively, we're not going to
We're
take
not-
on Star Wars. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can absolutely do it. The problem is though, that only works if every single person does it.
Every big person does it. If like 3 theaters get it, they're not going to be like, oh,
Then I'm
going back-
I'm going
that's
to
where we're
those.
going.
Yeah.
going back to my strike to my union analogy. The union can strike, but you also, if you want to get a union kicked in, you need everyone to strike to get a union. You need everyone on board to walk out in order to implement that the first time.
What's funny about that Star Wars deal though is it only kicks in after they make 500 million domestically.
So the first weekend?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is that movie's guaranteed to blast through 500 million. So those rules are going to be put in place regardless. And it's apparently super strict if you break their rules. Because normally I think that, what did that article say? Like 55 to 60%
Yeah, 50
goes
to
to the
60%.
goes to the studio of the ticket sales. Star Wars is getting like 65%. If they break the rules, it's like 70%.
Yeah.
What rule can be broken? Like, what are they? Give me an example.
Did you remember what the rules were?
They have to allow Star Wars to be in IMAX for 4 straight weeks. Nothing else can be in IMAX at the theater.
Only Star Wars can be in
Yeah.
IMAX.
Yeah, they got dibs on those theaters for a month.
Fuck, these guys are playing hardball.
Yeah.
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 And it was 64% last year. They went up a percentage.
To 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 68 by the time Obi-Wan rolls around.
And they're going to start jacking the ticket prices again. And,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah. It's gonna be $50 to go see a movie soon.
Wait, there's that $50 subscription to the movies.
yeah.
$50 a month, and you can go see as many movies as you want. Or something
No,
like that.
apparently there's a limit on that now too.
There's a
It's
limit
not. It's
on
not unlimited.
So, you know, there's somebody who's just like every night
Yeah,
going to a fucking movie.
it's a high number, but there is a cap now.
Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's got to be worth it, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you go to like if you go see like at least like 4 movies, right? you're pretty good.
But that's another monthly bill.
I know, yeah. That sucks.
I can't take the monthly bills anymore, Matt.
We're the subscription generation, man.
No.
Yeah, where's my money, Adriano?
You owe me money.
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You owe me You owe me $15.
Where's your fucking money?
Wait, you're asking him that?
Yeah.
Where's the
look
money
over
for
here.
him?
Don't look over here.
All right. Speaking of Star Wars and loot boxes, Battlefront 2 beta launched a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people didn't like that it was a pay-to-win system with their what they're calling crates instead of loot boxes. So what you get in the crates is called star cards, and they're just kind of buffs. I think sometimes they're weapons as well and crafting materials. But you could pay to buy specific loot boxes that would give you specific gear that make you better on the battlefield.
In Battlefront?
Yeah. So this was the second one.
Okay.
So people were considering this pay to win because you could literally buy the best stuff and have it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Now, EA's fix to this apparently is simply to make it random as to what you get. And if you want those, you have to craft those high end weapons and stuff. So you get crafting material in the loot boxes and you can craft them. Now, people still think it's a pay to win system because you can just buy more crafting material and then craft the items anyway.
Can you buy only boxes, or can you buy the crafting material directly?
No, I think you have to buy the boxes, but I think you're pretty much guaranteed to get some crafting material.
So this is what the beta was doing, or
No, the beta, you could literally just buy crates that would give you good stuff. Now you can buy crates that give you crafting items to craft better stuff.
Do they have tiered crates?
I think so.
So it's like Battlefield 1.
I don't know for certain though, to be honest.
So now there's going to be.
This already sounds
Okay,
scummy.
so if the four of us went into a map, it's very much possible that, like, you, Ryan, could have a better version of the same gun or a different
better version.
gun that is like.
Okay, wait. Well, let me just read this for you.
Okay.
So these star cards can be earned through crates. At launch, DICE has made it so that epic star cards, the highest tier, will no longer be obtainable through crates. In the beta, they were obtainable through crates. You could get the highest tiered items by buying them through crates. Okay?
Or earning them through crates, correct?
Or earning them through crates. Instead, players will get their hands on them primarily by crafting through special ones that will be available through starter packs by pre-ordering or by purchasing special edition of the game.
So,
But being able to craft epic star cards will leave open the possibility that someone buys a bunch of crates, turns the received items into materials, and then crafts epic cards.
holy Christ.
That will seemingly be still be possible, but players won't be able to do so right out of the gate. So that's the difference, I guess. But that's not much of a difference. They can still buy better stuff.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Well, this is
I
where
don't
we're
like
at.
this at all.
Yeah.
What's funny is that Battlefield, I don't even give a fuck about the battle packs. They're literally
Yeah.
just useless.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, my tank's gold. Okay, that's cool.
They do have behemoth skins, though.
What's that? Oh, like the blimps and stuff?
Yeah.
See, that stuff's cool, but it like doesn't help at all.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. They want to do this loot base. I don't like the fact that you're giving it an edge on.
That's weird. So everyone's going to be at different levels, sort of?
Well, your star cards will be at different levels.
So
But
the
the
star
star-
cards are like the grenades, the
But the
Specialty weapons.
But the star
rifle
cards are
stuff.
consumable, right? So like from what I remember in the other one, I had like a stack of, let's say, 15 of them. I use them as I want.
No, you don't consume them. It's like you
Well, no,
earn the
there-
grenade
wait,
star
wait.
card, you equip them.
Wait. There were consumable star
Yeah.
cards. There's energy on certain star cards that you could consume.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So I can't remember
There was a
exactly
number
what they.
that would go down, and I would just not get it.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like an ion cannon.
Yeah.
You would use once, and then you would lose an energy, and you could pick up more energy on the map, or you could buy it with credits in the menus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Your hand would contain permanent equipable star
Like
cards.
a grenade.
A
It's just
grenade
like an
or
equipped
a
thing.
sniper rifle or specialty weapons. But you always had a standard blaster that never improved in damage or anything like that.
I like when the people that like question loot boxes and stuff ask like the developer whether or not like they did this for more fun. It's like clearly you didn't. It's like I just want to equip a fucking grenade. I didn't want to like get a star card and then like make a better like beeper on it that like flashes red, but also to kill somebody. Like
I may need more time with it, but I really didn't understand the star cards in Battlefront 2.
No.
It was very
That
confusing.
sounds weird.
Yeah. And now they introduced a crafting system, and I'm just like, holy Christ. You know?
this is exactly why in Call of Duty when people were like, I got the disruptor beam. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we're getting like a bare bones single player from Visceral.
With star cards.
From Visceral.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Oh.
Some sarcasm.
But we are getting a single player in Battlefront.
No, we're not. Probably not.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, Battlefront. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not, though.
It'll be the 3 cutscenes.
Yeah.
It'll be the most streamlined cinematic experience ever.
Geez. All right, let's move on to some Nintendo news here. LA Noire is launching a new version with better lighting, better
It looks good.
camera. Yeah, it looks really nice. Better camera angles. I guess 4K on the 4K consoles. But it's also coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, here's the funny thing about this. It's coming in at 29 gigabytes if you want to download it digitally. The Switch ships with a 32 gigabyte storage card, but 6.2 gigabytes of that is reserved for the system itself. So you'll need a separate SD card if you want to play this game digitally.
How big of an SD card does the Switch take?
2 terabytes.
That'd be expensive, however.
Yeah,
I was going
it's
to say, how much are those?
way more than the Switch.
I'm not even sure how much it would be. I don't even think I've ever seen one.
No, they're not in like really public use yet,
Oh, good.
but it
There you
can.
go.
It could take one.
What is the highest SD card that you've ever seen, Matt?
512.
Jesus Christ! Even that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was all right.
Okay.
But that would be expensive as well.
Could you do like
Oh, yeah.
Could you do like a 16 gig SD card in there then?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you split up the?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if you can max out your internal storage. Like, if is the Switch capable of reading from 2 different sources to then run a game, or does it can only read from one spot?
Matt, how's that work?
I don't know.
Because
Not on the
because I
Switch.
would just have a fucking stack of shitty 2 gig, because you get those for free anyway. The two,
You're just
the 2
swapping
gigs,
in
just
cards.
constantly swapping them in and out.
But Matt, let me
what I
ask you
would
this:
do.
like, if you had a computer and you had 2 hard drives, can a file
Yeah.
be stored across 2 of them
My
in half?
Well,
essentially.
a prime example is I installed my
RAID
video
disks
editing.
do that.
Right.
Well, I installed my video editing software on my mechanical drive, but it works off the cache on the SSD because it's faster.
Yeah, no, but that's taking.
Like
Those
part of the
are-
program is
those are-
talking to the SSD.
Yeah, which is fine, but programs do it all the time. I run Avid off my C drive, but the actual project file was off my E drive.
sure.
That's fine. But what I think Ryan's asking is if you can actually take the bytes of information that consist of a file and take half of it on one drive and take the other half and put it on the other.
Yeah, more
Of a
than likely,
single file.
more than likely, like the game is like split up, like just like on PC where you're like
It's split up into multiple
you can,
files
like,
within
crack into
inside
it
of
and it's
itself.
split up. Like I don't know how they're packaged on console, but if it's split up like that way, and at any case,
You'd have all the audio files and then the video files and graphic files and
that's the
stuff
thing.
like
Like
that.
when
right?
it installs, it might just install pointers to go back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, you can get a 64 gig for like $30. It's not too bad.
like super outrageous, but it's a little bit outrageous that like a portable console doesn't have a lot
and
of storage.
then LA Noire would be the only game you could have on it, even a 64 gig.
That's the thing.
So you have this portable console that can't store anything portably with it.
Again, Nintendo can't play modern games. Again,
I see how much a 500
I think this is the second game that can't fit. I can't remember what the first one was. I think it was Zelda though.
Zelda
Zelda something
couldn't fit. Zelda download couldn't fit on the standard Wii U.
I thought it couldn't fit on the Switch too though.
Maybe. I know Zelda had an issue on the Wii U.
I remember it ran better on the Wii U.
It looked better on the Switch, but it ran better on the Wii U. That's all that was.
That's funny. But I'm pretty excited for the LA Noire though. I'm hoping this is them trying to gauge interest for a sequel. You know, or they're setting up people for the sequel, saying, "Hey, remember this game? Play through it again. Here's the sequel at E3." You know, something like that. Or I guess they don't really show games at E3, but whenever they decide to announce a new game,
Holy fuck!
what?
512 gig SDXC 95 megasecond writing speed is $290 on Amazon.
That's not bad when you think about it, though. If you were to buy a solid state drive for 512 gigabytes, it'd be about that price.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd lose it.
That's more than the Switch, or is that
This,
the price
well, it's $100 less than the Switch.
That's insane.
But then you'd be set, though.
Yeah, until it fucking breaks or you lose it.
Yeah, no, down a drain or
Yeah.
something.
No, I think it's like Nintendo style to carry like a little case full of your cartridges along with you.
That's what all the cool Nintendo fans do.
Yeah, I have one for my 3DS.
And if you have your game on a cartridge,
Yeah,
I guess you're going to have a case with all your cartridges anyway.
yeah.
So might as well have your SD cards in there too. Right?
Nintendo should have made a proprietary memory thing.
Here's the funny thing. This cracks me up too, though. If you have LA Noire on a cartridge, it still needs a 14 gigabyte day one patch.
God damn it!
What a mess. What an actual mess.
And what's in the Switch? 16 gigabytes?
32.
32. Okay.
That's
But
surprising.
6 is reserved, so you're actually only getting 26.
The,
Okay.
the physical edition of LA Noire for Switch is apparently more expensive than the digital one.
Yeah. It's also the physical Switch version of LA Noire. I think that any version of LA Noire is $10 more on Switch than it is on the other consoles, too.
Which is how it should be, right? Digital copies should cost less.
No, what I'm saying is base alone. If you take LA Noire on Switch compared to LA Noire on Xbox or on PS4, Switch, doesn't matter which version you get on Switch, it's more expensive than any
Oh.
version on the other one.
Okay.
They're charging $10 more on Switch.
And this is the first Rockstar game on a Nintendo platform.
Really?
No.
Is that not true?
Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars
Yeah, that's right.
on
okay.
DS.
DS or 3DS.
All right, well, let's say main console then.
Yeah. Unless it wasn't developed by Rockstar, unless unless it was like outsourced, but that's a
Rockstar published then?
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
It's a license of theirs anyway,
Yeah.
a property of theirs.
EA is not going to be making Nintendo Switch games anytime soon. I guess the only game they have right now is FIFA 18, and they're taking a wait-and-see approach to the Nintendo Switch. Clearly, they've learned from the Wii and the Wii U, and they're kind of...
Fucking Ubisoft going all in on every Nintendo console.
yeah. I mean, I give them credit for at least supporting Nintendo, but I think EA is like a little... Rightfully so. But
Yeah, they're not on the wrong here.
But the Switch is selling pretty well. It's sold out still. Now, I don't know if Nintendo didn't predict that there'd be this many sales and didn't produce as many, or if it literally
Probably.
is selling out like crazy.
Their sales went up with Mario by like 5 times.
Yeah. And is the rollout of first-party games a little faster, it seems to me?
Yeah.
Because we just had Zelda, and then we had Super Mario, or Mario Kart 8, right? Came out on Switch.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition.
And then we had Odyssey. And Odyssey sold 200 million... No, sorry. It didn't, but I don't have the number. 2 million copies.
Did they
After
announce,
3 days.
Did they
That's pretty good.
announce a port of Smash Bros? Is that
No.
is that a thing, or is that something I imagined?
They'll
Thank
probably
you,
have their
imagine
own
that.
version on it, I think. Right?
I don't know. The Wii U came pretty fast. Came and went pretty fast. I can see him just doing like another port.
I can see Smash Bros. Being pretty awesome on a Switch, though. That'd be pretty fun.
Apparently, the GameCube adapter works for
Yeah.
the Switch.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So does that mean they might be thinking about it?
Maybe
Yeah.
it's built in.
Yeah. So
But don't you need like a GameCube
No,
adapter to USB?
the adapter is like I have the GameCube adapter for my Wii U. It's USB, and then it goes out to a breakout box, which is 4 GameCube ports.
Right. Okay.
So then that adapter is like the Switch is hardwired for that adapter to work on right out of the box.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey sold 2 million copies after 3 days, and is the fastest selling Mario game ever in the U.S. and Europe. So that's pretty nuts.
it's like I think they said that like 1/3 of Switch owners have that game.
So Nintendo still has a very strong, loyal fan base. Eh?
Yeah.
They sold more copies of Breath of the Wild than they did Switches.
Oh, that's right. I remember hearing that. Yeah, where people just they're just loving the game so much they just
No,
wanted
because
it.
you have to also take into account this Wii U version.
Yeah,
as well.
they didn't count that, or I mean, they didn't report it that way, or what?
Yeah, they didn't like outright say it's like because of Wii U, but the actual headline or like the statement was just like, yeah, we sold more Breath of the Wild copies than we did Switches, and it's like, oh yeah, but you also have it on 2 different platforms.
Now, Super Mario Run, the iOS and Android game, had 200 million downloads, but Nintendo still says that is not acceptably profitable.
Because it's free, right? The download.
It was a free. You get the first few worlds for free.
You get the first world for free. Actually, no, you don't even get the first world. You get the first 3 levels for free.
Yeah.
1.4 is when you have to pay for it.
And
Like they couldn't even give you 1.4 for free.
It was $10 American.
I ended up paying close to 15
in Canada, right?
after conversion and tax.
Yeah. And I guess it's just not working out for them. Now, they have another iOS and an Android game, Fire Emblem, which has been downloaded way less than Super Mario Run.
Oh, God, does it have loot boxes?
It is making more money.
Yeah.
It has microtransactions, and it's a free-to-play game.
Animal Crossing is like that too now.
So the evidence is clear. This is just how it works now.
Yeah.
This is how the money's made.
But I want to know, how you have 200 million people download this game, a percentage of that is going to buy it, and it still didn't make money. You know what I mean?
Because how many kids download
cost
it?
to develop?
That's what I'm wondering. How much did they spend on this mobile game? Tens of millions of dollars? Like, what did they do?
I mean, can't they just grab the Mario and then just shove it into a phone? They've been making it for 30 years.
Yeah.
They don't have to make a whole new game.
To be fair, it does feel like a very well-polished game.
I mean, it could
It's
have been
very
they're
nice.
learning. Like, it could have been them learning how to do it. The devs learning how to do it.
That's possible,
But
too.
I mean, that's always going to cost more the first time.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Paris Games Week before we close out here. They showed off some games we've already seen, but this was more of a E3 2.0, I guess. We got to see more of Detroit Become Human, God of War, Last of Us Part 2 trailer, Spider-Man game, and also a new game from Sucker Punch. But what did you guys think of the Last of Us trailer?
Did not watch it, nor did I play the first game.
So don't watch it then.
I think they're going too crude with it.
They're getting a lot of criticism for it being too violent.
And it's just one of those things where I'm like, they're just showing,
We
in my
won't do
opinion, they're
spoilers.
just showing violence for violence.
A lot of people thought that, yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this.
Sony defended this by saying that it is a adult game meant for adults.
It is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is it?
yeah.
Did it feel like Walking Dead, the video game?
I mentioned that to Marty. I texted him like, this felt like The Walking Dead, and I don't like
Walking
that.
Dead.
So
Like, the feeling's weird. Like, I understand it's a violent world, but like, I don't know. The trailer just seemed to me like they were just trying too hard or something.
It's also out of context, too.
That's a big problem,
It could
yeah.
be a lot better if we knew what was happening.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What about Spider-Man? What are they showing that?
I didn't really like the trailer, but it looks good.
No, that was weird, eh?
Yeah.
Never saw the trailer.
It's very Andrew Garfield.
That's weird.
It's very Amazing Spider-Man.
Huh.
That's weird. That's a weird transition.
Yeah.
Really weird.
And it also came out that you get to play as Mary Jane for a few segments.
But did they in the other trailer? Didn't they reveal what's his name? Miles?
Mhm.
Is that the other Spider-Man?
He's in this new trailer, too, I think.
I don't recall.
He's not Spider-Man, though. It's still just Miles.
Okay.
But they had that gameplay trailer that they showed at E3. That was a much better look at the game than this was. This very it just seemed like they cut it together really quick.
It's like a TV ad. It's
Exactly.
not quite as good.
Yeah. I'm still excited for the game though.
Yeah, I'll check out the game when it comes out.
Does anyone else here have interest in Detroit Become Human except me?
Fuck no.
I'm fine with seeing the trailer. That's about it.
Did you
I
watch
was going
the-
to say, I'm interested in the trailers. That's about it.
Did you watch this new one?
No, I'm not even that interested
I'm already getting overwhelmed though.
by how much they've shown. Or
No,
like what-
by how many decisions they show are possible.
Have they showed like the weight of those decisions mattering?
Not to like completion because like that's the point of the game. You're going to play and see what your choices end up being, but they show you how many different routes you can go. You know, first of all, they play the scene once, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they choose one decision, but then they roll it back and they show you all the different steps you can take to make different decisions along the way, and it almost seems endless.
This is that
It's insanity.
Quantum Dream or whatever they're called, right?
Yeah.
Quantum Break?
Quantic Dream.
Quantic Dream.
Oh.
They made Heavy Rain
Indigo
and
Prophecy.
and Beyond Two Souls.
Right.
Very story driven. It's more of a movie than a game.
I still kind of want to play Heavy Rain.
That's a give it a go. Yeah.
I have no desire to play
Beyond Two Souls?
I think Heavy Rain's better.
Yeah, I played most of Indigo Prophecy. I never actually finished it because that game apparently goes to because they made it to be 2 or 3 games, and then at the end they decided it's like
That's
nah,
Quantic Dream?
yeah, and then I'm pretty sure it is. And then they decided to like condense it down into one game, so they had to like fast track a fuckload of shit in it.
My problem is they say that there's a lot of different options and story paths and replayability, but I don't feel that way with the last 2 games.
Yeah, but but based on what I'm seeing from the few trailers they've had for this one, it seems like they literally took it to the limit, you know? And it's almost like you have complete freedom to do whatever you want.
That's good.
You can make the choices, and obviously it's a set amount of choices. It's not like real life where you can make infinite choices. But there's enough to feel closer to your own choices, you know?
Okay.
I feel like this game's going to suffer from like no replayability. I understand that there's like a whole bunch of choices, but it's one of those things where it's like if you go through it very organically and you make your choices, you're going to be like that's your story that you've laid out. But then like going back and like choosing things specifically that you didn't before feels very phony.
Have any of those games ever been satisfying? The game that totes having multiple.
No, because it's always
paths.
it's always a big selling point, right? They always say, "Oh, you can choose your own adventure, or your decisions really have an effect on the world." But it
never has.
It never
because
does,
it has to be confined to a story. You know what I mean? And there can only be so many outcomes of that story that the writers want to actually write and the programmers actually want to program. You know what I mean? And you may make different decisions, but you always end up at the same place. So if you start off in the house, you end up at the mall, and then you end up at the grocery store or whatever.
The story points always have to converge at somewhere along the lines that they've already predetermined.
Yeah, it would take literally endless amounts of writing and programming to make it really seem like it was your own choices.
I think it would even be interesting enough though that like what you were saying, where you always end up at those like 3 locations.
Mm-hmm.
They could, if you had like 2 paths, even just have 6 locations, or like 5 in one origin. So you always start in like the school, then like there's different settings wherever the heck you're going at.
And it's probably too much work for them.
And I think what's the problem with that is like you're only going to have like say 5% see something people spent hours and hours on developing, days developing, and then not many people are going to use it or see it. You know what I mean? So
Until Dawn was actually pretty all right for the multiple choices.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. That I heard like your little just tiny decisions do ripple throughout,
and characters will die on you, and you just can't get them back.
that sucks. I hate that.
Yeah,
I do. I kind of like that. For that
I like that.
game.
Like actually, I do intend on playing. We should do it as a let's play.
I'll play that.
I like the risk, but I don't like losing characters.
See, I think that's one problem.
That's
with
the
games.
point, though, right?
People try to collect stuff and they try to like keep everything intact in games.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you're in a game, you should be fucking around and seeing if everyone dies or whatever.
Yeah, I'm okay with stuff breaking or not finishing stuff.
The God of War trailer was pretty cool, but kind of unnecessary. It was just him swinging some axes around. And,
that game didn't come out
stuff. Yet. No, but it looks good. I think they actually did it right. Whereas Gears 4 just kind of did more Gears. This game seems like it's actually taking it a little differently.
It looks like he's like an old man. He's slower. It's not so arcadey.
It's a soft reboot almost.
Yeah,
you know. So I think I'm excited for it actually. And then Sucker Punch's game. Now here's what's funny. I wrote down the Paris Games Week games because I wanted to remember the Sucker Punch game, and I don't have it here. So
you don't know what it's called?
I forget the name of it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look it up real quick.
But it's like a ninja game, and
Isn't it like something of Tsushima?
something.
But it was just a cinematic trailer though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check it out. I'm interested. I like open world,
Especially in open world samurai
Asian
games.
Yeah.
Damn it!
Hmm.
The movie Sucker Punch came up.
Oh. But anyway, pretty good conference from Sony.
I didn't even know there was a conference. I went on YouTube and there was a whole bunch of crap coming in, and I was like, "What the heck is all this?"
There's so many conferences now too, because now Sony has they have E3, and they had Paris Games Week, and then they got their own PlayStation Experience coming. You know, so they're kind of spreading themselves too thin, and they got to keep showing us the same stuff over and over again. And at some point, you just say, "I just want the game, please. Stop showing me stuff. Just give me the game." So,
but did you get that title yet, Marty?
No,
Is it called Ghost of Tsushima?
I haven't found it.
Come on now, that's it. We're doing a type off.
All right, you might want to disconnect from the internet.
Like at my house.
did it just die?
God damn it! It died right when I was typing. The site can't be reached. Fuck! I found another movie called Tsushima.
Ghosts of Tsushima.
There you go.
Oh, wow, okay. Thank you, Marty.
Yes, thank you, Marty.
Y'all welcome.
Yeah, so that looked interesting. I like Sucker Punch as a developer. I even like the last Infamous game, even though a lot of people thought it was pretty weak entry into the franchise.
I agree with the weakness,
Oh, okay. I agree with the power system,
but that was a major drag.
but I like the game.
Don't make the best power be the second one. And then be like, but concrete's all powerful. Spoiler alert. You get concrete, it's like, oh, I can shoot rocks. Okay, I'm just going to switch back and not use that.
It was better when they focused their efforts on one power instead of spreading it across three.
Correct, yeah.
All right, that's all I got for this week.
Right on time, too.
Is it?
Right on
now
time.
Now we're overtime.
Right on time.
We got Dead Space Let's Play going up on the channel, so you can check that out. And we're almost done it, actually. A couple more chapters, I think, and
Hell yeah.
we'll be finished Dead Space.
We'll have L.A. Noire soon when I have internet again.
Oh, right.
Literally was about to start uploading, and it was like, oh, okay.
We can re-record it all. That's fine with the
No,
new
I have all
with the
that.
new HD version.
I'm not freaking redoing that game. That took way too long.
That was pretty long, eh?
Real long.
We played it for months. But okay, and we're also on iTunes and Google Music, whatever the hell it is.
Google Play Music.
Google Play Music. I don't know why podcasts are in the music section, but
Or any podcast player for that matter. You can go to any podcast player, type us in, we're there.
Hell yeah.
are we?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
That's
The
news
fee-
to me.
The thing that we pay for goes out to all the podcasts.
Okay.
That's why we pay them.
Yeah.
That's why we pay them, Mr. Johnson.
That's what I pay them.
Yeah.
That's why Adriano pays him. Where's my money, Adriano?
All right, we'll see you guys.
Peace.